Welcome back to Joyfully Homeschooling Boys. Today, it's another flip through day. I decided to put out some videos for a flip through so you can see inside of Apologia's Exploring Creation with Health and Nutrition. I have had this for about 1.5 years. So we are finally going to finish this year because I just want to get it off the shelf. And so this is your Apologia book. It's about this big. Let's just look in here first. If you know Apologia don't play. If your child does not like to read a lot of textbooky stuff and note take at the same time, this is probably not your jam, but they do and are now presently doing video more, and you can get the audiobooks for things now. So, I mean, it's basically up to you. Apologia is broke down into modules. There is no teacher manual for this set because everything you need is in the student guide. So altogether, there are about 15 modules, basically 2 weeks each, 30 weeks of school, or a little bit more depending on how much you spend on each, module or chapter, if you want to say. There are kind of chapters in between. So it does talk about mental, who am I and why does health matter, mental and emotional stability. One thing I do notice about Apologia with module 1, you can I would move through their first chapters faster because sometimes when you get to the other chapters, they can be more heavier. As you see, this one is way longer. And that's how they are. This one is a big one. And so these have projects in there, as with most Apologias. Some of them have a lot of projects, like this one has 8 projects. I noticed that these health projects, they're not big, gigantic things. Sometimes it's just like helping somebody else or, doing things to help your community or yourself and stuff like that. So as you know, Apologia doesn't disappoint with the charts usually. Love the charts on Apologia. And this is what the textbook looks like inside. As you know, they have on your own. So as your child is reading, they go to their student notebook and they answer these questions in their student notebook. Now, if you didn't have this student notebook, this is something that you still could do, because at the end of every thing, it has the answers already for these on your own questions. So it's for you to make judgment on whether you just want to use the book. It does not have answers to the test or anything like that, but there are answers to on your own at the end of each chapter. So that is the book. Let me make sure I just don't miss anything in the back of this that I might have forgotten since I first. Nope, that's that. So here is the student notebook. As you know, guys, every Apologia comes with one of these books. The size of this book is about the same size as the book. They're both the same in size. So I'm going to go to one module. Let's do this one. And so this is basically what each module looks like when you get an Apologia. And it does depend on the subject, because I will say health and science, there was a little difference. And so you have your own space to write the answer to your own questions, which I just showed you. And then they have the projects in between. So this one wants you to search the internet for a hearing test. So see, they're not really that hard things to do. It's just a lot of work. I will say though, when you get to the end, which I will show you, of doing all of this, space to write, and you get to your study guide, I think the biggest thing for me has been, we will get to a study guide and you've already read over this. So for me, I kind of look forward. I look at this first when I'm saying, oh, I want you to do all of this in here. Because sometimes, like if this graph is on a page that they already read through, I just tell them to fill it out right in that moment when they're there. So sometimes the study guide is full by the time you get ready to take your test. Study guides are, and also definitions. Sometimes the definitions are in the study guide, and like other Apologia things, you have like note pages to take notes. See, one in the beginning. And so when we were starting, I was like, oh, write down the definitions, and I didn't notice that. But the definitions that you really need to know are in the study guide for the test if you're testing. If not, you can still make them write down all the definitions. I apologize if you can hear my kids, and yeah. So yes, it goes on and on. Some of these study guides can be very lengthy. So also what I do, because I feel like the whole purpose of a study guide is to study for a test that's actually going to have material from the study guide on it, and sometimes it does not. And so I do that too. And so I look at the test, and yes, I make them fill out the whole study guide, but when I do review for them, which you'll go on the back of the thing, you can pull them all out if you like, because honestly, yeah, before my kids don't even notice because they don't want to be bothered anyway. So these are the tests all in the back for you. Now, as far as the answers to the test and the study guide, they give you a downloadable file when you purchase this set. So that is where your answers will come from. They are not on here. So like I said, on the test, and most of the time, the tests are only, this is a big test. This test is like 3.5 pages. Most of the times, the tests were only, yeah, like 2 pages, or some of them are front and back. And I guess that depends on how big the chapters are. So this looks like something where it's like you're filling out a study guide that's 3 to 4 pages and it's being covered in the test. This is their entire notebook that they fill out with their projects. I love that they go through a lot of health stuff. This is very, very thorough, I feel, which is why we're just like, we're going to finish this so we can get up to par. Also good for myself, because as much as I know about health and nutrition, I can learn a little bit more. So this is the book. This is the student notebook. And this is usually how Apologia things come, besides the fact that they usually have like a study answer guide for the teachers. But now they might be, because they have physical copies of the test that you can order also outside of the book sometimes. And maybe they're just doing things different to save paper. But with this set, everything for the teacher is a download. So that is it about Apologia Health. If you guys have any questions, as I said, everything that you are seeing in these flip throughs this week, I will come back and let you know when we finish them, my thoughts on the whole course and how it fared in our homeschool. I will check you out in another video. And if you have missed one of my other flip throughs, just hit that video right there and watch that. And I will see you next time. Bye.